This is the story of Ernesto Miranda and the all too famous Miranda Rights. So Ernesto Miranda, his name is the namesake for Miranda Rights, and everybody knows at least some of their Miranda rights. The right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer appointed to you if you can't afford one, the right to be silent, and if you say anything, they can use it against you in court, right? So there are a couple of myths about Miranda, but let's talk about how the Miranda rights came to be a thing. So you've always had those rights, right? The right to remain silent in the U.S. Constitution, right? The Fifth Amendment. You have the right to a lawyer. That's in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. But it has not always been the case where law enforcement had to tell you about your rights when they arrested you. That did not become the case until Ernesto Miranda was arrested. He confessed to a crime, and then he was convicted at trial when that confession was used against him. His lawyers have appealed, and the Supreme Court said, you know what? We need to make sure that people know their rights. When law enforcement arrests someone, they need to tell them, hey, you have the right to remain silent. If you say something, we can use it against you. You also have the right to you can talk to us with your lawyer here. You can quit asking questions or answering questions at any point you want. If you can't afford a lawyer, we'll appoint you one, and then you can come talk or you can remain silent. The Supreme Court thought that was an important enough thing that someone should be advised of those rights at the time they're arrested and before they are interviewed. Now, it doesn't prevent someone from waiving those rights and talking with law enforcement anyway without a lawyer. It happens all too often. But law enforcement has not always been required to tell someone about those rights at the time of arrest. Okay? That was not until the case of Ernesto Miranda. Now, I want to talk about one myth that has to do with Miranda rights. I get calls a lot of times. They didn't read me my Miranda rights. They got to throw the case out. Not true. Full stop right there, okay? What Miranda rights mean is that if you are in custody and law enforcement is interrogating you, they have to read you those rights, or else they cannot use the answers that you give during the interrogation against you. Otherwise, the rest of the evidence, what they got out of your car, all that stuff is lawful. All that a Miranda violation can do is prevent the statements from being used against you at your trial. If you have any questions about Miranda, please call us at 470-635-1725.